Okay, so I want to talk about something that feel like doesn't get discussed nearly enough in the magical community, and that's the actual difference between planetary magic and what people usually call astrological or stellar magic. Because on the surface, they seem like the same thing, right? Stars, planets, the cosmos. It all gets lumped together. But trust me, once you start digging into this, you realize they are operating on completely different frequencies. And one of them, in my opinion, is way more accessible, way more practical, and honestly, way more powerful for most people doing everyday magical work. So, just a quick spoiler, I am Team Planetary Magic, but let's do this properly. So let's start with astrological and stellar magic because most people are at least a little familiar with this one. Astrological magic, broadly speaking, is magic that draws on the positions and movements of celestial bodies. Planets, yes, but also houses, aspects, transits, the whole astrological system. All right? You're essentially treating the sky like a giant cosmic clock, and you do your workings at the moment when the clock is in the right position. And stellar magic, in the older, more esoteric sense, sort of think Picatrix, is specifically about the fixed stars. Stars like Aldebaran, Regulus, Algol, Spica. These aren't planets, they're actual stars, impossibly far away. And the idea is that each one radiates a specific kind of spiritual force that you can tap into under the right conditions. Now, both of these traditions require you to be working in harmony with time. You're waiting for the stars to align, literally. The magic doesn't happen when you decide, it happens when the sky decides. And look, there's definitely something beautiful about that. There really is. It's humbling. It puts you in relationship with deep cosmic cycles that are so much bigger than you are. So let's have a look at how this would work. All right. So let's say you want to do a working for career success. In astrological magic, you might need to wait for the sun to be in a strong position, in a favorable sign, free from hard aspects, ideally in a relevant house, and Mercury can't be in the microwave. Saturn can't be squaring your natal chart ruler, and the moon needs to be waxing. All of this stuff just goes straight over my head. It really does. But by the time all those boxes are checked, it might be months away. And that's assuming you even have the astrological knowledge to put all of that together in the first place. All right. So we're talking years. And I really do mean years of study just to confidently time a working. Right. Fixed star magic is even more demanding. As an example, and from what I understand, Spica, one of the most benefic fixed stars there is, has a very narrow window of relevance based on when it rises, sets, and culminates at your specific location. And half the traditional techniques involve the star being visible in the night sky, which, if you live anywhere near light pollution, good luck. All right, so I'm not saying it can't be done. There are absolutely practitioners who live and breathe this stuff and get incredible results. But for the average person who wants to do some magic now, waiting months for a cosmic window isn't sustainable. Okay, here's where it gets good. Now, planetary magic in the classical Western tradition works with the 7 traditional planets: the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. All right, and yes, I said the Sun and the Moon. In this system, they're planets. Just deal with it, right? Now, these same planets show up in astrological magic, but the key difference is how you relate to them. In planetary magic, you're not primarily waiting for the right cosmic moment. You're working with the archetypal essence of each planet as a living spiritual force. You're building a relationship with that force. Okay? So the planets in this tradition aren't just celestial bodies millions of miles away. They're intelligences. They're governors of specific domains of life and nature. Saturn rules time, limits, structure, and wisdom. Jupiter rules expansion, abundance, law, and generosity. Venus rules love, beauty, desire, and harmony, and so on and so forth. And the beautiful thing? Each day of the week and each hour of the day is governed by one of these 7 planets, every single day. You don't have to wait for a rare conjunction or the fixed star rising. You just have to know which hour you're in. So let me break this down because it's simpler than it sounds, all right? The day is divided into planetary hours, and these aren't clock hours. They're proportional hours based on the length of daylight and nighttime. There are apps for this now, but which definitely makes it incredibly accessible and much easier. But I would recommend working it out for yourself at least once, just so you know the why and what of the thing you are doing, and you understand how the planetary hours are actually came about. All right, but every hour of every day is ruled by one of the 7 planets, cycling through in the Chaldean order: Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon. Okay, and each day of the week starts at sunrise under the rulership of its own planet. Sunday is the Sun, Monday the Moon, Tuesday Mars, Wednesday Mercury, Thursday Jupiter, Friday Venus, and Saturday is Saturn. All right, you probably already knew that, but just in case you didn't, there you go. So if I want to do a working for increase or abundance, I look for a Jupiter hour. I can find one today. I can find one tomorrow. Of course, doing it on a Thursday, which is Jupiter's day, is even better. But I don't have to wait for Jupiter to be in Sagittarius or Pisces or whatever. The planetary force is available, cycling through constantly, like tuning into a frequency that never goes off the air. And here's a deeper reason why I love planetary magic. It's not just about convenience, but I do like convenience. It's about the nature of the relationship you build. So when you work with fixed stars of heavily time-dependent astrological magic, the cosmic force sort of passes through. It's like catching lightning. There's this window and you work within it, and then it's gone until next time. And sometimes that is literally only once in a lifetime. Planetary magic invites you into an ongoing reciprocal relationship with intelligences that are present. You build altars, you learn their colors, their metals, their herbs, their incenses, their sigils, their seals. You talk to them, you make offerings, and over time these forces become woven into a fabric of your life. And Jupiter isn't just a timing window. Jupiter becomes a presence you know, whose voice you start to recognize in your intuition and in the synchronicities that show up around you. There's the difference between having a distant pen pal you write to once a year and having a mentor you meet with regularly. One is special, the other changes you. Now, I do want to be fair here because I said I'd be balanced. I tried to be anyway. Before I told you it wasn't going to be balanced. There are times when astrological and stellar magic are genuinely the better tool. Talismanic magic, for instance, the creation of magical objects designed to carry a specific force. It really does benefit from precise timing. Okay, if you're making a Jupiterian talisman, catching Jupiter in an electional chart where he's dignified, strong, and well aspected, creates an object with a particular concentration of force that's hard to replicate otherwise. All right, the old grimoires and magical manuals knew what they were doing. Of course, knowing what you are doing with such talismans, it does take years of study, and if you don't get it right, it could literally actually cost you your life, and I'm definitely not exaggerating there. But The same applies to fixed star magic. When you do catch that window, working with Spica for Venusian and Mercurial blessings, or Regulus for power and fame, there's a distinctly different quality to it. It's vast, it's ancient, it doesn't feel like anything else, but you have to know what you're doing. Seriously. So, I'm not saying throw astrological magic in the bin. I'm saying don't start there and don't make it your entire practice. It works beautifully alongside a foundation in planetary magic itself. So if you're new to this and you've been intimidated by the complexity of astrological magic and wondering where to begin, here's what I'd suggest. Pick one planet, just one. Let's say Venus, because who doesn't want more love and beauty in their life? Right? But learn her associations. Her day is Friday, her metal is copper, her colours are greens and pinks, her incense is rose or myrtle or benzoin, her number is 7, her herbs include rose, yarrow and violet. So on a Friday, in a Venus hour, light a green candle, burn some rose incense, sit with that energy and read about her. Write about what you want her help with and make small offerings, flowers, wine, honey, and just show up for it. Do that consistently and see what starts to shift. Okay? That's the start of planetary magic. It's available to you this week. It doesn't require a PhD in astrology. It requires presence, intention, and the willingness to build a relationship. So to sum it all up, astrological and stellar magic are rich, complex, and genuinely powerful traditions, but they put the cosmic clock in charge of your practice. Planetary magic puts you in relationship with living forces that are always present, always accessible, cycling through every day of your life. So start with the planets, learn their personalities, show up for them, and if one day you want to layer in the astrological timing on top of that foundation, you'll be in a much stronger position to do it, all right? Oh, and before I go, if this does resonate with you and you want to actually do this, not just watch videos about it, and I'm speaking about planetary magic specifically, I have an introduction to planetary magic workshop coming up on the 14th. The link is in the description, so grab your spot now before it's too late. That will also lead on to a masterclass which will be a lot more in-depth and based on the book I'm currently writing. That's going to be a 4-month masterclass. Anyone who takes the intro workshop will get a discount to the masterclass itself. So, as I said, go grab your spot. But until then, see you in the next one.